As you recall in the previous training video, we learned how to create user accounts for the same computer. That way, for example, my son Billy, when he wants to use the computer, he can log in under his own username and password and have his own little account and not mess with mine, with my files and folders, or I mess with his. Here I want to show you how to place parental controls upon other user accounts. In other words, you can control what games they can play, what programs they can use, you can place time limits on when they can log in, and what websites they can visit. So to go ahead and set all this up, just come down here and click on the Start button, go to the Control Panel, come up and again click on Add or Remove User Accounts, shows a list of all the accounts on this computer. Come down here and click on Set Up Parental Controls. When you click on it, it'll list all the accounts again. All you have to do is click on the account that you want to set up the parental controls for. Now keep in mind that parental controls only work or can be applied to standard user accounts, not administrators. I mean, that would defeat the purpose to place controls upon yourself as an administrator or others. So if you need to, go ahead and change them from an administrator back to a standard user here, or down to a standard user, and we covered that in the previous training video. So to continue, all you have to do is go ahead and click on Billy to set this up. Come up here, click on to enforce the current settings. And what are the settings? Well, down below you get 3. All you have to do is go ahead and go through each one and set those up. First, the time limits. Click on that. Now, if you get one of these messages here that says, look, you've got a FAT drive attached to your computer, a file allocation table drive, it says, in order for you to be able to place controls upon this account, make sure that these external drives are converted to an NTFS. It's more secure, and you can go ahead and control that drive. In other words, I could have games installed on an external hard drive, and if the external hard drive is formatted as a FAT and not an NTFS, then if I say he can't play these games, but the games are found on an external hard drive that has it formatted as FAT, then he can go ahead and play those, because again, it's saying it doesn't have the ability to go ahead and secure those that are on FAT partitions. So what am I talking about? Well, if I come down here, click on the Start button, come up, click on the computer, and it shows me a list of all my external hard drives here. I got a couple. If you go ahead and select one and right click on it and go down to Properties, it'll tell you the file system that's on that hard drive, NTFS, okay? That's the secure drive. Let me right click and go down to Properties on this one, and there it is, FAT32. It's not an NTFS. So how do I go ahead and change this? Well, to change it, you have to format it. To format it, it'll erase everything off that hard drive, so you want to take everything off and back it up, okay? And then close out, and then when you back it up on another hard drive, right click on it, go down to Format. Gosh, this ought to be a level 5 or 6 training video, but in any case, the file system, the default it wants to convert it to is NTFS. Of course, you can do FAT or exFAT, EX, but say it's NTFS. Go ahead and you can do a quick format, click Start, and it'll go ahead and erase everything off of your hard drive. So by all means, back it up. And then when it's done formatting to NTFS, well then, like I said, when the user logs in to his account, and he wants to go to these external hard drives through his user account, it should be able to protect or control what he can do on those external hard drives, okay? In any case, let's click Okie dokie, and you have from midnight to midnight, Sunday through Saturday. Go ahead and click and drag and select the times you want to block him out. So I don't want Billy working. Well, the earliest he can start working, let's say, is 6 a.m. So I can click and drag and go down and say, Sunday through Saturday, let go of the mouse, he's allowed to work from 6 a.m. on until, well, he's got to turn the computer off at, let's say, from 10 o'clock on. Click and drag and select it. Now if you want to go ahead and unselect it, then just click in a blue box and drag and go to there and let go. And then of course if you click and drag here, you can get rid of that time. Anyways, just click and drag again to get rid of them. Set your times. When you're done, go ahead and click OK, and I know that was a mess, but you got the point, right? Okay, games. Click on Games. Can Billy play games? Of course he can, or no he can't. In which case you don't get to set what he can or cannot play. But if you go ahead and say yes, come down here and click on Set Games Rating. Now by default you can allow games with no ratings. So most of the games that you purchase at the store have ratings here. Which games do we want him to be able to play? Well, let's go all the way up to Everyone 10 plus. So if I go to Everyone 10 plus, he can play Everyone and Earlier Childhood. You can see the selection here. You can scroll down here, and then even if a game has an allowed rating, If there are certain contents of games that are for children but contain alcohol references, you can go ahead and check those and say, well, block them if they're in, well, scroll back up, one of these earlier games here that I selected. Then go ahead and click Okie dokie. And then down below, we can block or allow specific games. Click on that. Now, by default, it's set up as user rating settings. So again, if it's within the user rating, again, from everyone 10 or older, then it works. But what about those games that we download from websites that don't have ratings? Like, let's see, I've got one, Fairy Solitaire. It has no rating. Can he play it? You can say, always block, so he cannot play it. Now, the interesting thing about this is that with ratings, we can go ahead and block those. But if he downloads a game that isn't on the list here, well, we won't know about it until we come in here because we can't go out and find all the games in the world, right? And go ahead and block them all. I mean, that would take forever. So you can only control what games are already downloaded. So keep an eye on it. Maybe log in and check from time to time to see if there's any additional games that he has access to, all right? And when you're done, click OK. And then come down here and click OK again. And then finally, allow and block specific programs. Click on that link. Billy can use all programs on the computer, or Billy can only use the programs I allow. Select that. It'll check the computer for all the programs that are on the computer here. May take some time. Okay, and here are all the programs, including games here. Just go ahead and check those programs that he can use. You can use that one, you can use that one. Well, you go through your computer and find out all the different programs that are there and what the person can use or what he can't use. In any case, I'll just say use all programs. But once you check them, just click OK, and then those programs that aren't checked, he can't use. He'll get an error screen that comes up says you do not have permissions to use this program, in which case he'll have to come and ask you for permissions, and you'll have to come back here and check the program to allow him to use it. When you're done, click OK, and that's it. You just need to come back here from time to time to change the times, restrict other games that you may have downloaded that are now in the list that were not in the list previously, and of course the programs. Now I mentioned that you can control or restrict what websites they can go to. So I'm going to come up here on the address bar, click on Parental Controls again, and then in this view, you can see that Parental Controls are on for Billy. I can come down here and it says there are additional controls. If you want to be able to use additional features like web filtering and activity reporting on this computer, find out what's going on, what websites Billy is visiting and how long he stayed there, well, go ahead and click on How do I install the controls. Go ahead and double click on the title bar to maximize the window. And basically what you're doing here is you need to download a provider who will allow you to find out what the other person's doing or the other user that you have set up on your computer here. Basically, if you just want to come up here and click on the Go to Windows website link, double click the title bar to maximize it, you can download and install the controls for, again, web filtering here by clicking on this link here. Takes us to another web page, and there it is, download. Now, you should know about this download. Let me click and drag this down a bit. It not only comes with family safety, in other words, the controls you can monitor where your son or daughter's been, or whoever you want to be able to monitor that you set up under this standard user account with parental controls, but it also comes with Instant Messenger, Mail, Writer, Photo Gallery, Movie Maker, and Toolbar. I want to give you a warning here that these things that you install, they're, well, at least for the writer, if you want to go ahead and write blogs, it's pretty much a bugger to get off your computer. They don't even have a delete account, at least not up until this date of the training video here. If you have one account and you want to delete it, forget it, you can't do it. You can uninstall the program, but if somebody else comes on your computer and reinstalls it, your account's still going to be there. It's kind of strange, and you can go ahead and do some internet searches if you don't believe me, but these things here, I haven't trained on them, or I don't care to train on them because I did enough digging that, at least for me, it's just a pain to remove, and I've checked all the forums and they're really hard to deal with. So of your own volition, if you want this, go ahead and click download, and once you download it to your computer, go ahead and double click on it to run the system, and it will give you the choice or the option to install any or all of these. If you just want the family safety, go ahead and just check that and it will install that. Having said that, go ahead and close out of these windows here. You'll come back to this window here. Well, let me go to the control panel. You know how to get to start to control panel, right? Come up here to add or remove user accounts. Again, go down to set up your parental controls. And then down below, it'll have a little drop-down arrow for you to choose your provider, which would be Windows. For family safety, click on that, and you'll want to follow the prompts for that. Basically, you have to set up an account like a Windows Live ID, and it'll walk you through that, the wizard, tell you what you need to do. And then once you go ahead and you click on the drop-down arrow and you select Windows provider, you can turn it on and just walk through the wizard and set up how you want it to monitor and what you want to lock out. Again, which websites Billy can view and what he can't view. And then as a side note, again, because you're giving this over to some other company to help you view what Billy's doing, this company can view what you're doing. I don't know what their privacy policies are, but that's up to you, and we'll go ahead and call it good for now. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for all my training, please visit me at my website, dreamforce.us.